大家好，欢迎收看本期的 CTalk 栏目。今天我们对话的嘉宾呢是采尔孚董事会主席兼首席执行官柯皓哲博士 ，Dr. Holger Klein。这也是他上任履新之后的首秀，敬请期待。采尔孚是一家拥有100年历史的全球500强企业，在2022年全球汽车零部件供应商100强榜单中列位第3，业务范围覆盖了车辆运动控制、集成式安全系统、自主驾驶以及电驱动4大技术领域。进入中国市场41年来，采尔孚经历了从中国销售、中国制造到中国研发的跨越，现在正在朝着中国引领的目标不断前进。今天我们要采访的柯皓哲博士，2014年加入采尔孚集团，2018年他进入了采尔孚集团董事会，并常驻上海，领导亚太区和印度区的工作，以及全球制造、底盘和售后业务，带领采尔孚中国区业务不断的扩张。2023年1月1日，柯博士履新为采尔孚集团董事会主席兼首席执行官。今天，柯博士将与我们就汽车行业发展、采尔孚的中国业务、全球协同、团队合作、人才培养等话题展开讨论。And when you're looking back the past 5 years, what have happened in China auto industry, and also what's happened for the ZF's China's business, from your point of view?
You know, when I came, we said, okay, we want to double down on China. And that was in 2018, and we said, okay, let's establish a global headquarters in China, like we have one in Detroit, one in Friedrichshafen, that's so to say where the global headquarters is, and then let's establish one in Shanghai. Yeah, and we brought global functions to Shanghai. Yeah, and me myself, I brought global functions. So I was always responsible for Asia Pacific, but I was as well managing our global chassis business, the global aftermarket, and finally, after 2 years, somebody most probably thought I'm getting bored, and I inherited the global production function as well. So great to manage globally out of Shanghai, a part of a multinational company. Yeah? So it was not only China for China, it was China for China, but China for global as well. Yeah? And we really moved quite a bit. I don't know how many plants we opened in the meantime. Yeah? Let me guess.
One by one.
5, 10, I don't know. Yeah? We started 2 more tech centers. One in Jiaxing for commercial vehicles, one in Guangzhou. Apart from the 2 we already had, this is one. This used to be, by the way, here in Zhuting, the old headquarters of ZF. Now it's a tech center, yeah, very much focused on e-mobility and chassis. Yeah. So Anting, then our second tech center, and then growing. Yeah. So growing the footprint, growing with customers. We dramatically increased the share of our Chinese OEM customers. Yeah, growing with them to a share of more than 30, reaching now 40%, which is approximately what the market looks like. Yeah, so traditionally, I think multinational companies came in with their customers in the 80s, like us. Yeah, there were the Volkswagens and whoever. They came to China, and you as a supplier accompanied them. And in the past years, we are very successfully growing as well with Xiaopangs, Neos, Li Autos, and the new stars. Although I would say, hey, if you look at the transformation of Great Wall, Shangan, all these very respected customers of ours, I really enjoy how the companies are developing and how we can contribute. Yeah, and we contribute very much with fully localized competencies. So that's what we changed as well. Yeah, don't wait for Germany or the US to wake up and tell you how to do it. Have your own 100% localized engineering competency here, have your supply base here, and really localized.
Yeah.
And that's, in a way, COVID was a great push. Yeah, it accelerated everything. Yeah, you could think about all the negatives, but you can think about the positives as well. How it helped us to grow the teams here. Overnight, they became very self-sustaining and got all the support to build the capabilities, and now we are fully localized. Yeah, so great to see how the market developed, how we became a part, focusing on the local ecosystem. We had our first invest into a startup with Kampa, where we took for the first time equity here in China. And that was just the starting point to become a part of the technology ecosystem. So I guess the last 5 years, yeah, a lot happened, and we became probably an integral part of the Chinese ecosystem.
Yeah. Just as you mentioned that in the last 5 years, they have actually keep investing in China to the localization, the R&D, or the support for the local customers. What's your expectation for the China market in future and ZF's China team?
So I think the Chinese market globally will be one of the few markets which will constantly grow. Yeah? And now if we look at the commercial vehicle market this year, horrible, yeah? But trend is clear. If you look at the past car, not so bad. Yeah, it developed very nicely despite all the trouble. And so overall, globally, China accounts for more than 30% of the global market. Yeah, so this is something which is to be taken very, very seriously, no matter where you are in the world. And then if you combine it with the technology push we discussed and the innovation, it becomes very clear you are not here for the volume, you are here to be at the forefront of technology development. Yeah? And I am a true believer, true innovation is a question of diversity, of really bringing the right skills together and then drive together the new developments. That's what we can do here. However, of course, we are in China and more Chinese organizations, yeah, which is important, yeah, because you want to connect to the local ecosystem, and language otherwise is a barrier, like we discussed, yeah. And our Chinese leaders are global leaders, yeah. They are Chinese but global leaders. We have 20,000 people in China at the moment, yeah, and we have 26 expats, yeah, so 26 foreigners. That's not so many, but our Chinese, I always push them as well to go abroad, to become an expat abroad, to gather the experience and then come back to China, to be more interlinked, because we need that on the technology side, this platform aspect of our industry, and being part of a global team, because that's where we bring in the advantages of a multinational company, yeah, being everywhere. And now we can help a lot of our Chinese customers as well to conquer the global markets. I remember that I met William Lee in Munich, where we announced a partnership on steer-by-wire technology. William will introduce that. He was just coming from the Oktoberfest, and his tour there introducing NIO in Europe. Great Wall is doing the same. Others, Geely, the MG brand, very successful in Europe as well. So I foresee that there is a great future for us in the Chinese market, but then with our customers globally growing into the other markets.
Yeah, the China OEM actually has very eager to go abroad, not just compete in China, but go globally. So at that time, ZF has its own advantage to support them, right?
And if you want, isn't it funny? You come with foreign OEMs into China in the 80s, 40 years ago, and now you leave China again with Chinese OEMs coming back to Europe, So
it's a circle.
It's a circle,
It's a circle.
And I think they, as our premium OEMs in Europe, we all enjoy competition because competition makes us stronger. And there was, I don't know who said it, who reflected about the strengths of the German automotive industry. And if you think about it, Germany is 18 million inhabitants. It's so small, And why is it so innovative in the car industry? If you think about it, with brands like Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, the Volkswagen, the Mercedes, the BMW, all together in this little market, all looking at each other and trying to be better than the other one and pushing themselves in this kind of positive competition that created, so to say, the strength of the industry. If you think about it, a ZF, a Bosch, a Conti, same thing. So I think true leaders will enjoy competition, fair and free competition, because it makes us all better. And if you don't feel the pressure of the competition, you might get sleepy. So not good.
A strong man always enjoying competition, and he will find a way out.
We are all sportsmen. I mean.
Okay. So nowadays, more and more companies realize that their talents are the most assets. So in UCA, Europe right now, we see a lot of transformation, a lot of new technology. For automotive company, what kind of human approach for the talents you should adopt?
I mean, we were talking about the war for talent for 2 decades, I guess. But now it becomes very visible and impactful. And you realize that leadership becomes very, very important to attract, develop, and retain talent. And it's really those steps. The first thing is attract talent. And if you look at people coming from the universities, they might have expectations where they say, I just don't want to be a number, sitting here at a desk somewhere in the corner and doing, I wanna see a certain purpose. And what am I doing?
The meaningful.
It needs to be meaningful. And I need to have the opportunity to personally develop and learn. And if you can't offer this, you are most probably in a weaker spot to attract the best talent, because it's not all about money. And I say this here in China, where I know that if I talk to my colleagues, everybody says, yeah, you are right, but when do I get my next pay increase? But there's more than money. I think money is a hygiene factor.
Yes.
And then you need a fair pay, but then it's all about how do you develop and retain the talent, and that goes back to leadership. And that is then who can create this followership with his or her teams and really develop this kind of talent. And this is a thing we talk a lot about. We have initiated a lot of talent programs where we try then to spot the best really and accelerate their career track. We are talking frequently, how can you jump even 2 steps? Not this traditional hierarchy model, but throw somebody into the water and see if they can swim. And most probably we have enough judgment to pick the right ones. And so talent is becoming globally incredibly important. But in China, especially, if you see the retention and that people are eager to learn, and if you don't offer them the opportunity, they might move on. And there's enough opportunity.
And people move on frequently. Actually, it's a headache for all the companies. So how to motivate people, how to build a great team become a top priority for all the executives. And what's your thoughts on that?
We have this, you can imagine, over in these rooms there on a monthly basis, I would call it. Leadership and attracting and retaining top talent is, of course, for a CEO of a company, one of the core topics. Really, one of the core topics. And I believe it's really the career development programs. It's creating, so to say, the learning opportunity and making people feel that they are part of something important. And this is then as well coming back to purpose. If you ask what is the purpose of the F, we follow this zero accidents, zero emissions. That's our contribution for a better world, and we truly believe this is part of what we are doing and contributing. And top talents are asking those questions. It's not just my patient.
Needs the passion.
It needs passion. Yeah, absolutely.
For ZF has a global footprint. We see the situation actually varies in different markets, either the policy, the culture, managing, operating environment. Even they differ in the pace of industry development. So how to handle all of these things and achieve the synergy?
So, on the one hand side, the culture is a very important one. And so we have defined our ZF way, that's, so to say, our values, the way we operate. And that's basically everywhere in the world the same. And there's an aspect like diversity. We judge very much, we try to become a more and more diverse company. And diverse for us means all kinds of diversity. I mean, if you're back in Europe at the moment, you talk about a lot female share in your management. I can't complain here. I'm surrounded by great female managers. So in my team, we have a very, very high share of females. It's as well different perspectives, different nationalities, different educational background, etc. So diversity is part of these values, working in global teams. Anticipation is very important. Because we say we need to think around corners to anticipate the disruptions which are coming and stay in a winning game. It's about empowerment and accountability. People who are part of our management teams, we trust them, and they are accountable. They are empowered to do the right thing. China is empowered to develop the Chinese market. By the way, we are one of the few who manage China as a P&L, because we say, hey, fully empowered leaders here, but they are accountable as well. We will ask them, so where are the results? And this is, so to say, if you want, showing the way how we manage the culture. That's everywhere the same. And we are global, but then regional again with our empowerment. And on the technology side, of course. If you talk about software products, if you talk about electronics, this is what we bring across. Latest technologies, inverters in e-drives. You might want to watch the news early next year. We are pretty much doubling down on silicon carbide, things like this. This is what you can't afford to do everywhere. You need to create the synergies. Or let's take assisted driving. We are strong in the pass car, and now with the volume, we create very competitive products on the commercial vehicle side, where the volumes are lower. And so you cross-leverage this up to the point we are pretty significant in renewable energies. Don't know if you knew that almost every fourth windmill in the world contains our components, the gearboxes and even the power modules. So, and there silicon carbide is important as well. Wherever you transform energy, it's going through a kind of an inverter. So, and that's how we cross-leverage technology while having the shared values, the same way of working, and then of course a global organization. education. You don't have IT security everywhere. You might have a hub somewhere. For example, IT innovation is what we have headquartered in Shanghai. For the rest of the world.
Oh, okay. So they can share all the.
They share this all across the world. Yeah.
Wow. See, could you give, say, young people some suggestions about how to achieve the successful career development?
Tina, now you see this gray-haired man. What can I tell the young generation?
Wow,
I don't know.
That's really important.
So let me try. But I know I'm not so successful even with my son. Because they follow most probably different ideas. What worked in the past, and this doesn't need to work in the future, but I see that this helps. The foundation of everything is a good education. So, and I think this is a must really. So stay awake at school, learn your lessons, and then a good university. I wouldn't say that it's so important what you pick at a subject, but be good at it. And I'm totally convinced that passion pays in. And if you're passionate about something, you're good at it. And that then brings you to the next steps that companies might look into. Wow, extraordinary achievements on the academic side, probably extracurricular activities, which showed right from the beginning you are a team player, you can connect with people, there might be the basics for a future leadership role, and then you enter a company. And then most probably you start with something you learned at university, perhaps not, but you will have the capabilities to learn fast. And this is something which doesn't stop. I'm by education a mechanical engineer. Now I talk day in, day out about software. I mean, I would have never envisioned that this becomes so important when I was at school. Now, of course, you need to have this attitude of lifelong learning. What I value very much is if you then start in an organization, just focusing on a thing and being an ordinary team member and learning about the social context of the company as well, and then learning how to deal with teams. And this is the apprenticeship model which kicks in once you are part of a larger organization. And you see the dynamics, you learn about it, and you stay humble. You stay humble and hungry, and you learn and you rise, but you understand the details. And ultimately, you might then reach a level where it's, even on my level, I would say, very important that you have this experience and you can go down on the shop floor and discuss with people what's really happening versus it's all PowerPoint or presentations. So this kind of development is very important. And then if you want to become a global leader, change geography. I think this is very important, because you change perspectives and you are leaving your comfort zone. For me, coming to China, as it was at the time when I went to Mexico, you are coming into a different culture, and it's challenging. It starts with what do you eat, how do you communicate, what is the traffic situation, etc., etc. And then the company culture, and you really learn a lot, you question yourselves, you grow a lot. And whenever you are outside of your comfort zone, you grow fastest. And therefore, challenge yourself, stay hungry, keep on learning, and enjoy what you're doing. I think this kind of happiness, being passionate about something, makes you eventually becoming great at what you are doing. It's not like I always wanted to be a boss and therefore I compromise and I take all the hardship just to get there. I think those people are not very passionate, and then if you fail, you might feel very miserable. It's all about happiness.
Wow, I think the suggestions are so valuable. I will let my son Hear that. Okay, last question. We see that 2023 is coming, it's totally new start. So what's your best wishes for the new year?
Less crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, a normal year with no surprises would be the best surprise we can get. Yeah?
Okay.
I would believe that if we would see really this normalized collaboration across the world, being able, I'm very much looking forward. We were joking about it in the beginning. I'm probably one of the last in this quarantine hotel, yeah, because it won't be necessary anymore. I'm very much looking forward to seeing all my international colleagues coming here to Shanghai for the auto show. But for me, it was always the opportunity to lose some weight and drink some tea, and so you can always think about the positives, and we will see a lot of positives here, especially with the traveling picking up, with this. I have so many tech players as well coming now to Friedrichshafen, to Germany, looking for the dialogue. If we don't see any kind of crisis we saw in Europe and this all normalizes again, it will be great.
Wow. Thank you for your time. We go through all the questions and we really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it. Like always, Tina.
Okay.